Hello and welcome back to the Library of Ruina Ranked. In this video, we'll be covering all of Kelly, Binah, Roland, Argalia, and Angela's pages. Our first page is Upstanding Slash. This is a 2-cost rolling 6 to 10 69 blunt, and if the page deals 8 or more damage, the user draws a page and reduces the cost of all other upstanding slashes by 1. This page has strong clashing at too late, but can also reduce its cost to 0 and draws a page very often. Easy S+. Spear is a 2-cost rolling 3 to 8, 3 to 7, 3 to 7 pierce, and if the page deals 8 or more damage, the user draws a page and reduces the cost of all of their spears by 1. Similarly to Upstanding Slash, it has strong clashing at too late, although it's weaker in that regard in exchange for stronger damage, but it can also be a 0 cost and draws a page quite often. Another easy S+. Level Slash is another 2-cost, this one rolling 5 to 9, 5 to 8 slash, both inflicting 3 bleed next scene on hit, and if the page deals 8 or more damage, the user restores 2 light and reduces the cost of all other level slashes by 1. Instead of drawing a page, this one restores light. It's quite easy to make this a negative 2 cost with insane clashing, so you guessed it, another easy S+. Focus Spirit is next. This 2-cost rolls 8 to 12 block, 5 to 7 blunt, and the blunt gives the user 3 strength next scene on hit. While the blunt isn't insane, the block is quite powerful and 3 strength for 2 light is pretty incredible. This is another S+. Onrush is a 3-cost rolling 14 to 26 slash, and if the target gets staggered or killed by the page, it gets reused on a random enemy. While the roll isn't great, being a 3-cost with a single die, the damage is quite high, and if you can reuse it once or twice per cast, it'll feel like an S+, but the inconsistency of that means that this is just a B. Degraded Lock is a 3-cost ranged page rolling 9 to 20 blunt, 5 to 9 block. The blunt increases the cost of the target's pages that cost 4 or more by 2, and it restores 1 light on use. The on-hit effect doesn't really do much, but it'll occasionally put in good work. This is mostly a pseudo 2-cost rolling 9 to 20, 5 to 9, which is really strong. Its lack of good utility precludes it from S+, but it's still really strong at an S. Degraded Fairy is a 1-cost ranged page rolling 4 to 7, 3 to 7 slash, both inflicting 1 fairy on hit, and on use it restores 2 light. Fairy is probably the strongest status defect, so anything that inflicts it is very strong. The rolls aren't insane on their own, but being ranged works in this page's favor since you want to apply Fairy as soon as possible. This is incredible light regen, so this page gets an S+. Degraded Shockwave is a 5-cost mass individual rolling 3 to 8, 3 to 8, 4 to 9 blunt. The 3 inflicts 1 feeble this scene on hit, and on use it gives 3 protection to all allies this scene. This mass attack is, like most masses, very strong. 3 dice means power stacking works well with it, as does dice type consistency. Giving 15 protection and 5 feeble is also quite strong. It's not the highest tier of masses, but it's pretty close at an S-. Next we have Degraded Pillar. This is a 3-cost rolling 7 to 11, 6 to 9 slash, 5 to 9 block. The one has an anti-recycling clause, and both slashes inflict 3 fairy on hit. 6 fairy is disgusting, and the rolls are also quite strong. The one also hoses pages that counter ranged pages since it'll always eat the first die. Nothing too complicated, just a very strong page at an S+. Degraded Chain is a 2-cost range page rolling 8 to 14 blunt, and on hit it seals a speed die of the target for the next scene. Sealing speed dice, even temporarily, is very strong, and so the somewhat lackluster clashing is made up for with that. The die it does have rolls quite well, but only 1 die means this page is an S instead of an S+. Ailith's Workshop is a 2-cost rolling 5 to 9, 5 to 8 pierce, and on the start of clash it reduces the power of all the target's dice by 2. This is a fairly simple page. The rolls are pretty good, and the clash effect makes it even stronger. The lack of meaningful utility holds this page back though, and it's just an A+. Wheels Industry is a 4-cost rolling 14 to 24 blunt, 5 to 8 block, and the blunt destroys the opponent's next die on clash win. Compared to Lock, you lose 1.5 power on the block, but gain better dice placements and 3.5 power on the blunt. It's not incredible, and is probably Roland's weakest page at a B. Zelkova Workshop is a 0-cost rolling 4 to 8 slash, 3 to 8 blunt. Its cost can't be changed and it draws a page on use. This is a decent page draw, but nothing incredible. Compared to Brace Up, you get a free 4 to 8 die, but lose it on the bonuses that discard 1 draw 2 gives. I think that's reasonably better, but not incredibly so this page gets an A. Old Boys Workshop is a 1 cost rolling 5 to 9 block, 4 to 8 blunt. The blunt recovers 5 stagger resist on hit, and on use, the user restores 3 light and draws a page. Compared to Will of the City, this page costs less, has stronger rolls, and additional utility. S+. Mook Workshop is next. This is a 2 cost rolling 8 to 15 slash, dealing 3 bonus damage to the target on hit, and on use, it restores 3 light and draws a page. This is also stronger than the Will of the City due to being able to clash effectively with it. S+. Ranga Workshop is a 0 cost rolling 3 to 7 pierce, 3 to 7 slash. The slash inflicts 2 bleed next scene on hit, and the cost of the page can't be changed. This page is just alright. Compared to Feint, you save 1 light, have partial dice type consistency, half a power on 1 and 2 bleed, but lose it on the bind. Of course that means this is significantly better, but it's only a B+ due to the lack of utility. Crystal Atelier is a 3 cost rolling 8 to 11 evade, 7 to 11, 7 to 11 slash, 4 to 8 slash counter. This page has no utility, but the rolls are just really disgustingly high. 8 to 11 evade will blank pretty much any 3-die page that doesn't have a defensive die on 1 or 2, and the counter die is also above average. This is an S+ tier page. Atelier Logic is our next page. This is a 2 cost ranged page rolling 4 to 8, 5 to 8 pierce, 7 to 12 blunt. Again, this page has no utility, but the rolls are really strong. It's not quite to the level of Crystal Atelier because there's no counter die, but it's strong enough for an S-. Durandal is a 2 cost rolling 5 to 9 slash, both giving the user 1 strength next scene on hit. The rolls here are pretty strong, and the strength is also great. It's not quite as good as Focus Spirit because it only gives 2 strength, but it's still very good at an S. Trails of Blue is next. This 3 cost rolls 8 to 17 slash, 5 to 9 block, and it power nulls itself on the target's page. Power null is usually a downside, and this page's rolls aren't incredible for its lack of other utility. It's good as a silver bullet, but for standard play, it's just a D+. Allegro is a 2 cost rolling 5 to 9 slash, 5 to 9 blunt, 4 to 7 block. The offensive dice inflict 2 vibration to the target on hit, and if the page triggers resonance, the user draws 2 pages. Drawing 2 pages is really strong on almost any page, and this page's rolls are passable without the utility, so this is an S+. Largo is a 0 cost rolling 4 to 8 block, 5 to 9 slash. The slash reduces the target's vibration by 1 if it's at 6 or higher, it restores 1 light on use, and if it triggers resonance, the user draws a page. Without the page draw, this is already probably at S tier, maybe borderline S+ because of its raw power, but when you add that page draw, the page becomes absolutely nuts. And although it's not quite to the level of Old Boys Workshop, it's still an easy S+. Our next page is Resonant Scythe. This is a 2 cost rolling 5 to 8 block, 5 to 8 slash, 5 to 7 blunt. The slash deals 3 damage to the target on hit, and on use, if the user triggers Perfect Resonance, all the dice gain 4 power. When you trigger this page, the rolls are at a level of a 4 cost page. The lack of utility is unfortunate, but not enough for this page to not be an S+. Tempestuous Danza is a 3 cost mass individual rolling 5 to 9 slash, and on hit, the target's vibration is set to 4. This is a very cheap mass attack with some relevant utility for vibration, since 4 vibration is good enough to trigger resonance 2/3 of the time, with 5 being the best. Beyond that, it's still a 3 cost mass attack, so it has to be pretty good, and this page has additional upside that brings it to an A. Controlled Resonance is a 1 cost rolling 3 to 8 slash, 3 to 8 blunt, and it makes resonance trigger if the target has 4 more vibration. This page is usually a crutch, since a skilled player can consistently trigger resonance pretty much every single time on targets at or above 4 vibration, but for players new to the playstyle, it can help with your triggers, especially since vibration gain is a lot quicker than reduction. For those players, this page will feel like a B, but for skilled pilots, it's probably just an F. Next, we have Crescenda. This is a single-use 6 cost mass individual rolling 6 to 10 pierce, 9 to 22 slash. It's usable after the first scene, the slash deals 50% more damage if the pierce hits, and on use, it adds a copy of Grand Finale to hand. Grand Finale is a 6 cost mass summation rolling 30 to 40 pierce. The first mass attack is pretty good, both dice rolling reasonably higher than Raging Storm Love, and the burn being replaced with the potential to deal 150% damage with the slash. The second mass attack is just Great Split Horizontal without the bleed, which is still really strong and is another S+. Shyness is a 2 cost rolling 5 to 8 block, 4 to 8 block counter. Both the blocks deal 3 bonus stagger damage on clashed when, the cost can't be changed, and on use, the user restores 3 light and draws a page. This is an insane page, being a -3 cost that also draws a page and has a strong counter die. At 2 light, this would be an S+ still, and of course it gets an S+ at 0 light as well. Token of Friendship is a 1 cost rolling 5 to 10 evade, 4 to 9 blunt. The blunt inflicts 2 fragile next scene on hit, and on use it recovers 6 HP and stagger resist for the ally with the lowest current HP. The rolls here are quite strong, although not on the same level as Smoke Smash. I do think this page is better because 2 fragile is stronger than 2 smoke, and 6 HP and stagger is actually somewhat relevant. It's nothing incredible, but it's good enough for an A. Lean Bloody Wings is next. This is a 2 cost rolling 5 to 8, 4 to 7, 3 to 7 pierce, with the 1 and 2 inflicting 1 bleed on hit. The cost of the page can't be changed, and on use it restores light and draws a page. Compared to Spear, you gain half a power on average, a guaranteed page draw, 2 bleed, and always being a pseudo 1 cost rather than needing to reduce the cost. Of course, that means that it'll never become a 0 cost, but I'd say on average it's a decent bit better, and of course is an S+. Display of Affection is a 3 cost rolling 8 to 10, 4 to 9 slash, 3 to 8 slash counter. The 1 destroys the opponent's next down clash win, and on the start of the clash, the dice on the page gain 2 power. Rolling 10 to 12, 6 to 11 is quite strong. The damage is high even though it's a 2-die page because of double offensive, and it clashes like a 3-die page because of the effect on 1. Of course, the only utility is the counter die, so while it's a really good clasher, I already expect my 3 cost to be that and more, but this page is strong enough for an A+. Our last page today is Coffin. This is a 4 cost range page rolling 10 to 15 pierce, 4 to 8, 4 to 8 evade, and the pierce steals the speed of the target next scene. Compared to Degraded Chain, you pay 2 more light for 1.5 power on your offensive die and 2 4 to 8 evades. I do think that this page is stronger, and gets an S+ because the main complaint I had about Degraded Chain was its single die, which this page addresses. And that should just about wrap up Ruina Ranked. Thank you everyone for joining me on this journey. I'm not sure what I'll be doing next, or even if it'll be Library of Ruina related, but whatever it is, I hope you'll join me. I'll see you soon, and as always, thank you for watching.